Hello again, it is Sunday, and I've been wearing the same shirt and same hat all week. No, I'm just kidding. I recorded these both 2 weeks in a row. Last week was to show off the football, basketball, baseball, Hall of Famers, deceased players, anything like that I've got autographs from, autograph cards of, at least in my collection. So today we're going to move on to the hockey collection, just because, this pile right here is all the hockey stuff. So that's two handfuls right there, heaping handfuls of top-loaded Hall of Fame autographs there from the hockey world. I also went through some of the certified ones last week. I'm going to do a quick scan through on these here just to make sure I didn't miss out on any of those, because I might have somewhere in there. Probably not. There's a lot of junk ones I've pulled from packs here and there. No real huge names, obviously. A lot of the bigger names I've traded off over the years and such. A lot of the smaller guys right in here, kind of hoping the smaller guys become big guys, but I haven't had the luck on those yet. So, yeah, not a whole lot there. Got one more I'll check through here real quick, but I'm not expecting a whole lot. This one was mostly basketball, a little bit of soccer. This one is entirely football, it looks like. And actually, I can guarantee there's not going to be any in here, because if they are, I pulled them out and put them elsewhere, and I think it's in the box that's under the laptop here. So, yeah, let's just go on to the hockey and just keep it at that. So, we're going to start from the early hockey stuff. And like I said, I'm going to skip over the first couple of years here. I think it was up to 72 I showed off last time. So, I can just go ahead and show those again, because there's not really that many of them. We've got the late Eddie Shack and Hall of Famer Glenn Sather. Those are both out of the 69-70 Topps and O-Pee-Chee sets. Shack and O-Pee-Chee, Sather and Topps. No easy way to tell the difference on those from the front. Only the back there, where you'll see the Shack card is also written in French, whereas the Sather card is English alone, rendering the difference there between the O-Pee-Chee and the Topps. Didn't notice this before, but the O-Pee-Chee one doesn't have the white/gray border around it there that Sather's Topps card does. So, there you go. A little bit of a difference there, but nothing huge. Let's see here. We've got the two Norma Ullman ones. Got these both TTMs. Ullman, very solid signer up in Canada. I believe he charges $5 per. Not bad, though, for a Hall of Famer. He was a free signer for a very, very long time, so you really can't blame him for charging $5 now. Let's see here. We've got some from the 74-75 set, I think this is. Yeah, 74-75 with Brad Park and Jim Rutherford. Love the Rutherford sign. That one in silver. Came out really great on there. And Park, very good signer. Usually, I believe, 3 per, and will personalize them all, but it's a Hall of Famer. This is the guy who was supposed to be the heir apparent to Bobby Orr there in Boston. Let's see. Let's move on to which set is this one. This is the 75-76 set. Very simple design. We got Jim Rutherford on one of those as well, along with John Busick. Both those being the Topps version. Both those guys, members of the Hall of Fame. Got Busick in person once back when I lived in Boston. Was not pleasant in person, but he's a very, very good TTM signer. So, fortunately makes up for that quite nicely. We got Bob Gainey right here on the 78-79 set. Remember getting that one signed. He came by and glared at us later on, because we were bugging the team on their way to dinner, and I guess he really didn't want to be bothered at all, and literally walked right down the line and glared at every single one of us that was waiting outside the team's hotel there. It's like, how you doing? Hey. Yeah, we're just going to stand here awkwardly here and let you try to intimidate us. So, yeah, that's basically what happened there with Gainey. Good signer, though. I've gotten him a number of times since. He does a lot of events here in Dallas just because, he was in the Stars front office there for quite a while. Signed Hall of Fame rookie right here with Mike Gartner. Got that one TTM, very solid TTM signer. It's the scratched-off version right there, as you see the, I think just over the name only, they had this little black scratch-off disc on there. And this one came already scratched off, but I picked it up at a national, I think it was a 2004 national maybe. Got it for like 50 cents. So, yeah, not going to complain about getting a good deal like that. Looks great autographed. I don't care. I'm taking it. I'm happy with it. Who else? We got a couple from the 81-82 O-Pee-Chee set. Brad Park, as we mentioned before, and Rogie Vachon. You may have seen the Vachon on the channel a few weeks ago. Park, you just saw his signature a moment ago as well. We got one of Team Leaders cards from that set. This is from the Topps version. It is Steve Shutt, signed that one. Got him on my set card that you may have seen a couple weeks ago there as well. Let's see here. We've got the Topps set here with top set got broken down into, I believe it was about 80 cards or so that went nationwide, and then they did another 80 that went to the western U.S. and 80 that went to the eastern U.S. in this weird kind of setup there for most of the western teams went to the west, the eastern teams went to the east. So if you're living on the East Coast and you're a fan of a western team, well, too bad you're not getting the cards over there. So any Kings fans in New York, any Islanders fans out in California, well, too bad. Hope you can find each other and trade in the pre-internet days there. But Dave Keon was part of the East, Hall of Famer there. Got him TTM, very good signer. Brian Trottier, I picked this one up in a trade. Right there. Trottier usually is a good one-per signer, but each time that I've tried to send to him, he's kept my card and sent back a preprint. So I don't know what the deal is there with him. So moving on here, this is from the 82-83 set. That was the last year that Topps made hockey for quite a while, so 82-83 was just the O-Pee-Chee set, and we got Brad Park in there. Another year of... Okay, this is when they bounced back. It was 84-85, I think, was the first year where Topps and O-Pee-Chee were back to producing cards both. And there's Lanny McDonald on one of the Topps cards. Picked that one up in a trade. Mailed to him, never got anything back. Hoping it might eventually get here, but not really holding out a whole lot of hope at this point, unfortunately. Sucks because I have a set card that I really need that was in that mailing. Grant Fuhrer, same thing, mailed to him, haven't gotten it back yet, don't know if I ever will. It usually takes close to a year on him, though, so. Those one I picked up in a trade, however. This one I got signed at the 2018 NHL Draft, and that is a Joe Sakic rookie card. Love the way the signature came out on that one. It's one that I'm considering getting slabbed. If I ever do a bunch of authentications through like BGS or something like that, that Sakic rookie is going to be right near the top of the list of ones that I get slabbed. Another favorite of mine was Borje Salming, Hall of Famer right there, and as far as I know, the only NHLer with definite Sami background. Part of my family is of the Sami from northern Finland, Sweden, Norway, part of Russia. They are the only indigenous people of Europe. And yeah, Salming was half Swedish, half Sami, and because of that, he really was not totally accepted by a lot of the Swedes. In fact, I mean, he was constantly denigrated by a lot of Swedish fans as Lapjavel, they would call him, which means basically it means Lappish bastard, which you don't call the Sami Laps. That is like super politically incorrect term nowadays. It'd be like, I'm sure you can think of plenty of names that you could insert in there similarly, but yeah, so he just got so much crap from Swedish fans. I mean, these are freaking countrymen, and they're giving him crap because, you know, it was a Sami background. But a lot of the time, though, he'd kind of get looked at as being like, well, he plays too rough of a style for the Swedes and everything. And so eventually the NHL, I believe it was Toronto Maple Leafs sent some scouts to check out, I think it was Inge Hammarstrom. And they're like, okay, yeah, this guy's good, but we really want to know about this defenseman there, because this defenseman, Borje Salming, it turned out, got like kicked out like 3 minutes into this game, and this Toronto scout looks at him and says, that's our guy right there. Let's get him. And so they end up signing both of them. And Salming went on to a hell of a career. I mean, most of the time the Swedes were looked at as being, well, the chicken Swede was the big thing that they would always be referred to as in the U.S. and Canada, because they weren't exactly known for going into the corners ever. They didn't play a physical game. They were all, finesse and put a body on them. You can neutralize them pretty easily. And Salming kind of broke that mold. I mean, this guy who was not afraid to throw down. If you look at his career, he had 3 seasons over 100 penalty minutes, which for a European player was pretty high. I mean, one of the seasons he had 154, one season he had 170. And in addition to that, I mean, 1,300 career penalty minutes almost, but he also had 148 goals and 620 assists. So he could play that finesse style, but he could also go out there and run people over if he needed to. There's a famous photo of him with these huge stitches across his face when he got his face slashed by a skate. And I think it was the 76? Somewhere in the 70s or 80s at the, it was like the Canada Cup or something like that. He was playing on the Swedish team, and they were playing the games in Canada. And when the Swedish team played in Toronto, he got a 10-minute standing ovation from the Maple Leafs fans, even though he was on the opposite team. So that shows just how respected he was in Toronto. He eventually became kind of one of the grand old man of Swedish hockey for a little bit as well. So eventually everybody came around on him, and he was an iconoclast when it came to Swedish hockey. And so even though my family is Finnish, and like I said, a little bit of Sami from the northern part of Finland there, he's definitely one of my favorite players despite being Swedish. So there you go. Borje Salming, Hall of Famer. Tough guy. Sami. Great. Part of the reason I wore 21 for a while on floorball, too. Anyways, moving on here, we've got a couple from the O-Pee-Chee sets from 1990-91. This is two deceased players, Ilkka Sinisalo and Brad McCrimmon. Sinisalo was in a trade for my friend Lee over in Alabama, and McCrimmon was a in-person signing back around, I want to say 2003, 2004. He was an assistant coach for the Atlanta Thrashers at the time. Great signer with them. I mean, I think I had like 8 cards with me. He signed all of them. He's commenting on each one as he signs it. Mentioned that his 1991 scorecard is one of his favorites because he's got this huge flex in his stick there as he's leading into a slapper. And I think the other one that he mentioned is coming up. So I'm going to save the rest of that story here for once that one arrives. And, oh, crap, I may have already traded that one. So, okay, well, the other one was one of his 91-92 Pro Set cards. And it looks like, yeah, I've already traded that one off. But it had him in the original 6 jerseys that they wore there for part of the 91-92 season that the original 6 teams wore. This is the NHL 75th anniversary. And so he mentions, yeah, those are my favorite ones too. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got the old jerseys on there. He goes, hey, it's sweaters, man, sweaters. I'm like, oh, right. Canada, sweaters, of course, not jerseys. Difference between American hockey fans and Canadian hockey fans. American hockey fans will say, our team was hurt when Gretzky ripped his jersey on the boards inside our own arena. A Canadian hockey fan will say, our organization was hurt when Gretzky ripped his sweater on the dashers inside our own building. So there you go. That's your Canadian English lesson for the day. Moving on, we've got a lot from this 90-91 Pro Set. I mean, just breaking out this one alone, that's just 90-91 Pro Set right there. So a whole lot to get through there. But we've got Cam Neely to start things off. We've got Dave Andrechuk. Andrechuk is a very solid TTM, or at least was when I got him. Mailed to him, I think, twice in my life. Got him a bunch of times in person there as well. Another one of Brad McCrimmon right there. Got Joey Mullen. By the way, almost all of these are going to be in-person autographs. And actually, this Andrechuk one I think was in-person rather than TTM, now that I look at it. So, yeah, those first 4, the Neely was a trade. The next 3 were all in-person. Bernie Fedorko was a TTM, more famous as a member of the Blues. Shows him with the Red Wings there, where he finished his career, much like Borje Salming. Guy Carbonneau was an in-person signature. Does a lot of events with the Dallas Stars alumni. We've got Rod Langway. Got that one by mail. Dale Hawerchuk was also by mail. Unfortunately, recently died about maybe a month ago at most. Brett Hull, he was a TTM. Joe Mullen was in person. So we've got Mike Gartner by mail. We got Cam Neely in a trade. We've got another Dave Andrechuk that was in person and a Brett Hull. Well, we'll just show that one. We'll get to the Hull in a moment. Let's go ahead and show the Hull right there. Another TTM one out of him. Phil Esposito, another very good TTM signer for a little while there. It would take close to a year that you'd be waiting for it. He would only do one per and personalize it, but it's Phil Esposito. I mean, the guy had 700 career goals, 800 career assists. So, I mean, very solid player. You can't go wrong with a freaking Phil Esposito autograph, personalized or not, one per or not. I will gladly take that. Moving on, we got another Brad McCrimmon here. We've already shown him off a couple times there. We've got Joe Mullen. Right there, I've seen him already twice. He had 3 cards in that set, got all 3 of them signed eventually. That's a set that I would love to try to do, but you're talking, what, 800 cards? Probably, yeah, about 800 cards in that set. A lot of guys that went back over to Europe, a lot of guys that have died since, a lot of guys that might charge, so it'd be a nearly impossible feat. I know of a few people who have tried to tackle it before, but I'm like, hey, good luck to you guys. I mean, yeah, that's more than I care to do. I mean, 440 card hockey set is enough for me. It was kind of tough to see, but this is Hall of Fame coach, or is he Hall of Fame? No, I don't think he's Hall of Fame, but deceased now, former coach, Pat Quinn of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Looks better in person than it does on video. It's kind of just tough to get the lighting just right for that to show up. That's kind of bright, but you can kind of see it there, I hope. Let's see here. We've got Dennis Potvin, who we got in person. Very good in-person signer. Doesn't typically sign by mail much unless you're sending a large envelope. Got that 11 by 14 signed by him that I showed off a few weeks ago or months ago. Alex Delvecchio, good signer for 10 bucks. I got him when he was still free. Also got him on a puck at a show for my first ever hockey autograph, back when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, I want to say. Got a couple here from Pat Burns, Hall of Famer. Very good signer in person when he was coach of the New Jersey Devils. And how about a referee? We've got Andy Van Hellemond on a couple of cards there. He'll send me a signed photo when I mailed to him as well. A postcard-sized one. All right. About 15 minutes in. Been talking for a good 45 minutes now, because I mean, I'm recording this one and last week's one back to back, so yeah. Bear with me if my voice starts to go bad. Moving on to the score set, we've got a Bill Barber right there. Very good TTM signer. And this one I got signed at the 2018 draft as well. This will be another one I'm definitely considering getting slabbed, and that is the Martin Brodeur rookie card. Somehow every other company except Score managed to whiff on putting Marty Brodeur in their 90-91 sets. So, yeah, got that one, got it signed. Very happy with that one. Eric Lindros was the big name in that set. I believe he was the last card. Yeah, he and Brodeur were the last two cards in that set. And they also did a little 5-card subset or insert set or something like that. I think it was only in the factory sets they put this in, but 5-card set of Eric Lindros, so I've got that one signed so far out of it. I think they did this little insert like that in back-to-back years, 2 different ones of 5 cards each. So put him in the 90-91 set. He was then drafted in 91, when, of course, to the Nordiques, who traded him to the Flyers, and the Nordiques turned their big Avalanche teams there into what they became out of just trading Eric Lindros, who didn't want to play for them anyway. Joke's on him, he never won the cup. So, we've got the 90-91 Upper Deck set here with a Mike Modano rookie card right there, signed in person. Would have been at one of his one of his celebrity baseball events. Got another Brad McCrimmon right there. We've also got Harry Howell right there, Hall of Famer. I think this was a TTM pickup, if I remember right. And this one, there's been a lot of talk about whether these ones are authentic or ghost signed. I'm hoping they're authentic. Not really certain either way. Like I said, I'm hoping they're authentic, but that'd be the Wayne Gretzky card right there. That's the art card for his 2000th career point. Yeah, so it's 2000 on the front. I should probably have noticed that. But yeah, got that one by mail. There's another one that's going to be coming up a little bit later on of him as well. Hopefully it's real. It's another one I might consider getting slabbed if I can get an opinion on it beforehand. But there you go. I mentioned Jimmy Rutherford before. There's a couple of him. The silver one by mail, the blue one via a trade. A couple of them here that I picked up. The way that I picked up these cards here that I'm about to show off were there's this card store in Boston called Bay State Coin and Card, and I believe it's the only one that's still left there along Bromfield Street. There's another one that's a little bit further down. Had some decent stuff, but nothing really great. And well, one day had some extra money, so I went by and bought a box of random 84 Topps cards from the one that was a little bit further up, and it was like $8 or something like that for it. Nothing really too crazy there. Like 800 cards, $8. It's a penny a card. Not bad at all. Got me a good chunk of the 84 Topps set. So walking down, I figure I'll duck into Bay State Coin Card there and check them out too. And they see I'm carrying the box and they're like, "Hey, we got like these $7 boxes here too." And I'm like, "Really? What kind of stuff?" It's like, "Oh, it's just random stuff all in a box." And I'm like, so it's like, I didn't really know what I was getting, but I'm like, okay, well, you got any hockey ones? I was like, oh yeah, okay, usually got 1 or 2 hockey. And he digs around. He's like, "Yeah, here's a hockey one. You want to go for it?" I'm like, yeah, why not? So really glad I did. That thing was full of all sorts of random stuff. I mean, there's some stuff from the late 60s in there, late 60s through like the mid 70s. But so I think 4 cards from this random 91 Bruins set. Borderless black and white photography with just some, basic text and stats on the back. But there were cards of Brad Park, Jerry Cheevers, Harry Sinden, and Terry O'Reilly all in there. It's like, hey, that's cool. I can definitely get some of these signed because we saw Cheevers occasionally around at the arena there in Boston. O'Reilly came in with the Rangers as an assistant coach. Park is accessible by mail. And Sinden was accessible by mail as well. And so I was able to get Cheevers and Park both to sign theirs. I eventually got O'Reilly to sign his. I mailed Sinden's off to him and never saw it again. He signed another card that I put in there, though, so you'll see that a little bit later on. But still, hey, I got 2 out of them signed there, and well, 3 total when you throw in the O'Reilly there, but 2 Hall of Famers, Terry O'Reilly, who doesn't love Taz, Moving on, we've got the 91-92 O-Pee-Chee, that's Gardner, I've already shown him off. Gordie Howe, one of my earliest TTMs, this was about 1997, 98, somewhere around there that I got that one done. Sent it randomly to the Red Wings with a letter, hope for the best. A couple weeks later, bam, it's back signed, of course. Hi Drew, best wishes, Gordie Howe, number 9. And that legendary signature of his right at the bottom. Also got a puck signed by him somewhere. Who else we got here? Another Bernie Federico right there. There he is with the Blues. Another Brad McCrimmon. We've got Adam Oates right here. This is a TTM here to Oates. Excuse me. Got an Oates both TTM and in person, so you'll see an IP sig of his coming up here soon, I'm sure. We got Michel Goulet. solid TTMer, Hall of Famer. Mark Howe, solid TTMer, Hall of Famer. Charges $5 or $10 now. This is back when he was free, signing 1 per. Got him as well through the Detroit Red Wings alumni, since he played briefly with them. Mostly, of course, known for the Flyers and the Whalers, and of course the Houston Aeros, where all 3 Howes were playing together on each of those 2 teams. Let's see. I'm not going to show this one off yet, because I'm going to got the Canadian version that I can just show off here in a bit and get all 3 in. Let's see here. We've got Al McInnes. Very good TTMer, Hall of Famer. Zarli Zalapski. I picked up 4 copies of this card signed at the National in 2018 for $1 each. I figure it's a good trade bait. I mean, because first of all, I mean, Zarli Zalapski is an awesome name. But also, he died a couple of years ago, and so when I saw those for $1, it's like, yeah, we'll take all those. Somebody is bound to need those for some sets or something, or just to get one. So this one, like I said, I skipped over the American version of it because I have the 3 Canadian ones all here, all signed, all TTM'd. That is the Guy Lafleur series here. I mentioned before loving those art cards, and so there you go. That whole series right there they did in the 91-92 top set. Cards 291, 292, and 293. The first one, the American one, I sent off back around 97 or 98 among my first batches of SIGs. These ones were probably around 2014, 15, somewhere around there, so a couple of years in between those at least. But Guy is still a very good signer. Get yourself some Canadian stamps and send to him, for sure. Got more Mike Gardner. We got another Madonna in-person SIG. How about a John Ferguson? That's my trade bait one right there, hoping to get the one that I need for, I think it's the Throwbacks one. Is it the Throwbacks one? No, it's the Archives one I think that I still need signed. But there's my trade bait one, so if somebody out there has that Archives one signed, this could be yours if you're willing to part with it. Let's see here. We've got Andy Bathgate and Dave Keon, both TTMs right there. Bill Gadsby was a fun one because he actually changed pens to sign this one, make sure it gets signed in silver and shows up on there pretty well. Norm Ullman, we already mentioned him before, so I won't show those off. We've already mentioned Howard Chuck. Pick this one up in a trade, a Teemu Selanne rookie card. Love that one. Selanne is one of my favorite players, so to be able to get a signed rookie card of his was a very, very nice pickup there. As far as I can tell, it's real. There's been a lot of questions about authenticity on his TTMs as to whether it's him or somebody else signing them. That one, like I said, was in trade, so I don't know if it was a TTM or an IP, but from what I know about his signature, it looks good to me at least, so I'll allow it. Here's that other Gretzky one that I mentioned right there. Another art card. Came out pretty good. Hope it's real. Might not be. It's worth a try. I mean, 2 cards, a stamp, a letter from the great one. You got to take the chance at least on it. Let's see another couple of art cards here with Mark Recchi and Dale Hawerchuk. Steve Cusano was the artist on those. A lot of the ones in the baseball and football sets were done by Vernon Wells Jr., father of Vernon Wells III, the outfielder for the Blue Jays, Angels, Yankees, maybe a couple other teams in there. But Vernon Jr. was an artist who did a lot of the Upper Deck art, does a lot for the Cowboys, Stars, and Rangers as well, with art pieces for them. And you can always tell because you'll very clearly see V. Wells on any of those, the ones that he did. So keep an eye out on those. It's a good signer, too, if you feel like sending to him, I've heard. Let's see here. I haven't mentioned Peter Stastny at all yet. So there's one of him, 91-92 Upper Deck, signed right across the helmet there, which is pretty cool. Another Zarli Zalapski right there that picked up the National. We've got a Mike Gardner. If you want to recall before, I'll see if I can break this one out, see if I can find where it went. But we've got the... mentioned Adam Oates before that I said, hey, you'll be seeing him again here in a bit, and yes, you will. So let's compare once again his TTM SIG to his IP SIG. TTM in black, IP in blue. There they are. Got him when he was the head coach of the Capitals a few years ago at a hotel here in Dallas. Next day, we got kicked out, courtesy of Alexander Ovechkin. Let's see here. Going through, we've got Mark Recchi. Recchi signs on the darkest part of a card. If you listen to my podcast interview that I did with Darren over on the fourth line there, he asked me, I think he actually asked me on the interview, or maybe in our discussion after, but he asked me if anybody signs in like the darkest spot of a card, and Sergei Samsonov was the first one to come to mind, but yeah, Mark Recchi guilty of it on this one as well. It's another one where it looks a lot better in person. You can actually kind of tilt the blue under the light there and be able to see it and stuff, but yeah. Michel Goulet, Adam Oates, I'm not sure about this Cam Neely one. I've never seen a signature of his that looks quite like this, so I'm not sure if it's real or not, but picked up, I think that was another one I found at the National as like, I think that was at one of those tables that was, a dollar each or 12 for 10. So it's like, yeah, comes down to 80 something cents. I will take a gamble on that one any day. Probably not good, but yeah, less than a buck. So you got another Glenn Sather. First time this guy will come up out of many. This is Alexander Karpatsev. I mentioned before Brad McCrimmon. He and Karpatsev were both on the coaching staff of the Lokomotiv Yaroslavl team in Russia that was completely wiped out in a plane crash back in 2011. I think it was September of 2011. So, wow, coming up on, it's been 9 years since that. Wow. But, yeah, Karpatsev was a very good signer in person. Got him a number of times when he was playing for Toronto. And so, at several of his, you'll see him come up a few times more in here. I've got another Mike Gartner there. How about some Pat LaFontaine right there? Used to be a very good signer through his charity. Doesn't sign much through it anymore, unfortunately, but still runs a great charity there. If you got a few extra bucks and want to help out a good cause, go and check it out. We got Ron Francis. This one I remember as a TTM around 1998. I was a freshman in high school when that one came back. The reason I remember it was I had just gotten dropped off from the carpool, and as I was about to go in, I realized, oh crap, I didn't bring my keys with me that morning, so they were locked inside the house. So figured, well, go and grab the mail and go and wait over at the neighbors there and wait around on their couch until my mom got home, and had that one come in the mail that day. So happened to just put those two together. One of the things that I picked up at an estate sale about a year ago was the Parkhurst Missing Link set. It was designed after what their 56-57 set was supposed to look like or something like that, because I think it was like that year they didn't put out a set for some reason, and so when Brian Price brought the Parkhurst design, or the Parkhurst brand back, this is one of the things he wanted to do was kind of release some of their unreleased sets, and so this set saw the light of day, and you see stuff like Leo Boyvan, very good signer, by mail. John Busick, you'll notice there he actually signed with his number 20 there that he wore as a Red Wing. Got Murray Costello, more famous for his post-playing career, getting into the Hall of Fame as a contributor for a lot of work that he's done with promoting women's hockey, especially the Canadian women's team. U.S. women's team a bit as well, mostly Canada. I got Bill Gadsby right there. And we'll show off both Dick Duff and Dave Keon. Most of these I got by mail. Correction, all of these I got by mail. Let's see here. See some more of those Parkhurst old ones here coming up here in a bit. First, we've got Dave Andrechuk. That's a TTM one from Andrechuk back around 1997 or so. Brad Park, also TTM. You're going to see two more from the set coming up right after that, and they are Henri Richard, TTM'd as well. And one of my favorite signatures here, Maurice Richard. Signature Rookies Cool 5 set featured those three along with Brian Leach and Radek Bonk. Don't have either of those signed yet. Leach kind of tough to get to sign. Bonk, I had that card with me in person, asked him to sign it. He said he doesn't sign Las Vegas Thunder items. Yeah, I don't know why they got those guys as the cool 5, as they call them there. Bonk, I mean, was huge because, I mean, Radek Bonk was a really cool name, number one. Number two, he was going to be probably the number 1 overall pick in the 94 draft before Ed Jovanovski jumped over him to that number 1 spot, and then I forget who the number 2 pick was that year. Maybe Jeff Friesen, I want to say. I could be totally wrong on that. I don't know who the number 2 spot was. Bonk fell to number 3 there with Ottawa and had some decent years, but never quite lived up to that billing of being a potential number 1 overall pick. But Richard there, the Richard brothers. Henri, of course, died only a couple of years ago, but I got him through the Montreal Canadiens alumni back when I first started TTMing around 1997. And got him in person eventually later in Boston in 2005 when he was in town for opening day of the 05-06 season. But Henri Richard was another one I mailed there in 97. And I actually had heard later on that he had been in the hospital at the time that he signed a lot of these ones, but he literally was signing from his hospital bed. Like the nurses are like, hey, don't you need to rest? You need to rest. He's like, nope, signing. Gotta get all this done, and knocked out a whole bunch of them. But he signed this card for me. Also signed a photo. It says right on it, to Drew Pelto, good luck, Maurice Richard, number 9. Still got that one in among the stuff here. But so yeah, I've had a lot of offers on people wanting to trade for this card. It's like, no, that's probably not going to be leaving my grip anytime soon. It's another one I probably would get slapped at some point there if I ever do that. So, but yeah, let's see here. Moving on from there, we get Pavel Bure, TTM'd back around 97 there as well. Signed up in the corner there, you can see. Let's see here. So yeah, I said we've got some of those other old style ones from Parkhurst sets. We've got Boyven and Pierre Pilote. Those were TTMs as well. Pilote may have been a trade, not really sure now off the top of my head, but yeah. Dick Duff, Rogi Vachon, both TTM'd fairly recently, and same thing here with the Vachon and Dave Keon cards. These were going to be what the 66-67 set would have looked like. I believe Parkhurst went out of business right before then, and so Topps and O-Pee-Chee became the only card makers up until, what, 1990 was when you finally got Score and Pro Set in. I've got a Brett Hull, that was a TTM back around 97 there as well. So was this Mario Lemieux? Not sure on the authenticity of Lemieux. I've heard he may have auto-penned or ghost signed or something, but it was worth a try on a stamp at least, and I mean, nobody's really been able to verify one way or the other, basically, on it, so I like it at least. Got another Dave Vanderchuck. This one was a later TTM. Scotty Bowman right here. Not sure about the authenticity on this one either. I've heard his wife does a lot of his mail for him. This was 2007, 2008, somewhere around there that one was signed. He was always known for not being a good signer in person at all, and usually you would get a very terse "I don't sign" anytime you'd ask him, and he supposedly would even fine his players on the Red Wings for signing. I'd heard that at least. I don't know how true it is. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, though. So we've got the late Wade Belak right there. Longtime enforcer. Played with, God, who was it? Calgary, Colorado, Toronto, Washington, Nashville. Dropped Donald Brashear late in his career. That was a big surprise, but also very welcome, as there's a lot of fight fans out there that did not like Donald Brashear much. Let's see, we got Dave Vanderchuck again. We've got more Mike Gartner. Ron Francis is an in-person Ron Francis, I believe. Let's see here. We've got Oates, McInnes, another Wade Belak right there. Typically a one-per signer. Let's see. We've got Pat LaFontaine again. We've got another Belak right there. Got more from Alexander Karpovtsev, who I mentioned earlier, of the Yaroslavl plane crash. Igor Larionov, Hall of Famer, very good signer as well. Another Andrechuk right here. We've got Mike Modano. This Modano, got this on TTM. FYI, on any Modano TTMs, though, if you mailed it to a team that he played for, it was ghost signed. It was then forwarded to somebody in Michigan, possibly, I don't know if his mom was there. It definitely was a very, feminine-looking signature on the ghost sign one. So I'm guessing, mom, cousin, aunt, sister, somebody at least, was signing his mail for him. You can tell, though, that the good ones were, anything through his house, though, was usually a good signature. You can tell just by the shape of the M's. If it was a ghost sign one, it had very rounded letter M's on it. The real ones have very sharp M's that you can see right in there. This one looks like it says to Adam. I'm not sure if that does or not. If I cross my eyes a little bit, I can kind of convince myself that it says to Andrew, so I'm going with that at least. So, but yeah, I mean, that was I've had a real weird rash of TTMs with the wrong personalizations on them. So, I mean, I had one from Bill Parcells come back personalized to Dave. Dave's not here, man. I got another Karpovtsev here. We got John Busick, Andrechuk. Here's another Henri Richard right there. Got that one TTM around, I want to say 2010, 2011, somewhere in there, most likely. We got Johnny Bauer, former Cleveland Baron. Another Bill Barber. We got a Harry Howell that was a TTM SIG, added his Hall of Fame year, personalized it to Drew, best wishes. Got another Hall of Famer, Guy Carbonneau, in person here in Dallas. That one was at, I remember this one was at Mike Modano's number retirement, because he was actually carrying a black Sharpie with him, so he could just stop anywhere along the green carpet there and sign for people. And so, like, hey, Guy, cards here, sign please. And boom, just whips out the Sharpie and goes for it. So, really great on him to do that. Let's see, we've got more Al McInnes, we've got more Karpovtsev. A couple that I picked up in, actually bought these ones, was Sergei Zholtok. And the reason I picked him up was he was another one who died fairly young, unfortunately. It was in, card here is from 2000, 2001, Upper Deck. He died during, I believe it was during the lockout of 04-05. He went over and played in Europe and had an undiagnosed heart condition and dropped dead on the bench during a game there. And the reason I picked up the autographs of him were because I needed him for my 02-03 Topps Total set. And I figured, God, I'm probably never going to be able to get this one done at all. I'm not going to find anyone who's got it. He was with Minnesota when the card came out. And the year the card came out, Minnesota didn't play at Boston. Next year, Minnesota did play at Boston. And he got traded 3 weeks before to Nashville, who had already played in Boston before then. So missed out completely on any chance to get Zoltok on that particular card. And then he goes to Europe and dies over there. It's like, well, I'm probably not going to be able to ever get that one done. And fortunately, somebody had it signed and not only traded it to me, but just gave it to me outright. He said, oh, you're working on that set? You need that one? Here, give me your address. It's all yours. So it's like, yeah, I've gotten some really good ones from that. So definitely need to pay that forward anytime I can. Speaking of which, Hall of Famer right here. I don't know if I showed this one off before or not, but that is Steve Eisman for the Topps Total set. Another one that was given to me randomly by, I believe it was one of the guys who runs one of the hockey autograph groups on Facebook. He's an Eiserman collector. He posted that one up as one that he just added to the collection. I'm like, oh man, that's so awesome. I need to get that one. And so he messages me and he says, hey, yeah, what's your address? I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm going to have enough to trade for it. And he's like, I've got so many Eiserman signatures, it's yours. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. But yeah, so I definitely owe it to pay it forward to a few people for getting stuff like that. So Zoltok, like I said, eventually somebody came through with that. Brad Park. Here's another Borje Salming, this time with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Far more famous for having played for them than for Detroit. Yeah, he finished his career, because I gave the totals up through his Maple Leafs career, but once you add in the Red Wings years, 1,148 games, 150 goals, 637 assists for 787 points, and 1,344 penalty minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. We've got a Bobby Clark right here. I haven't showed off any Bobby Clark ones yet, I don't think. Unless I had him in one of the Pro Set ones there. Might have, don't remember now. Let's see here. Norm Ullman, Dick Duff. He's got a Josef Vazicek. He was another one who was killed in the Yaroslavl plane crash. Another Dave Vanderchuk, another Mike Modano. How about another Pat Burns right there? Got 3 autographs of his here. And here's another Igor Larionov, Hall of Famer, great Russian, multi-time Cup winner, I think twice, maybe. He at least won the 2 with the Red Wings. I'm not sure if he won any other ones. He didn't win any before that at all. Not sure if he won a 3rd one after that with the Wings or not, but yeah. At the very least, he's got his name on the Cup twice. That's 2 more times than I have, so good for him. There's another Sergei Zoltok right there. That's another one that I purchased. Let's see, got another Brett Hull. We've got another Norm Ullman. This one was interesting. I mailed it to Johnny Bauer. I didn't think he had signed it because, right there, he and Sawchuck on there. I'm like, oh, okay, well, he signed, 4 out of 5, whatever. Put it aside, look on the back, and oh, hey, whoa. Got surprised by that. On the back is where he signed that one. Kind of tough to see the blue on blue there. Shows up a lot better in person. Let's see here. Got Adam Oates. We got a Chris Pronger TTM right there. That's for my Topps Total set. I eventually got one signed in person by him, not personalized, so that's over there in the set binder. I keep on teasing it. I'm going to show off the Topps Total set one of these days, and I still plan to. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I got to figure out when I want to go about showing that one off. So, we're into September, about to be hitting October. Maybe it'll come up in October. Maybe it won't. We'll see.
Tease.
Yeah, just a little bit. We've got a Ray Emery right there. Unfortunately, Emery died in a boating accident, I believe. Drowned, if I remember right. Very good signer for a couple of years there. Got him for that one. Got him in one of the sets that I showed off earlier a couple weeks ago as well. Let's see, there's another Josef Vazicek right there. Let's see, we got Brett Hull. We got, Brendan Shanahan. Got this one at the 2018 NHL Draft. Who else we got here? We got Scott Niedermayer. Niedermayer typically was a one-per signer if he signed, which the Devils were kind of tough to get because usually at game time they would parade out as a team and not a single one of them was signing. So if you didn't get him coming off the bus or morning skate or something like that, you weren't getting him. And if you did get him, you were going to get one per at best. How about Ed Belfour? There's one of him. That one, if I remember right, we were waiting until like 10 o'clock that night to for him to get back. So a lot of the times NHL teams will have a curfew of 10 p.m. the night before a game. And so we were out there for the Maple Leafs and hoping to get him, and I think it was literally 9:45, 9:50, something like that, is when his cab finally pulled up at the hotel there. And fortunately, he signed for the four of us that were there left, but yeah, got that one at least. Got him my Topps total set as well. You'll see. How about another Pat Quinn signature right there? Like I said, longtime Maple Leafs coach, got him on that one. Showed you the Marty Brodeur rookie card earlier. There's another Brodeur right there. Steve Yzerman got this one signed at the 2018 draft. This was the Pacific Atomic McDonald's set. Get these cards at McDonald's up in Canada. They used to do that in a partnership with Upper Deck for a long time. I think they went over to Tim Hortons for a while after that. I'm not sure if they still do cards and stuff at the as the giveaways there or not. Be cool if they do. Hope they do, at least. Let's see, got another couple of Chris Prongers here. How about a Jean Beliveau? Haven't seen Beliveau's name come up just yet. Somewhere at one of my parents' houses, I think I may still have a puck signed by Beliveau. Hope it's there at least. I mean, I've gone looking through and have not had any luck finding them. I think my mom had a storage facility that got broken into, and they may have disappeared in that for all I know. So, oh well. I did at least get the Gordie Howe and a couple other ones out of there at least that are still with me. So, got the biggest, most important one there at least, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see, we've got a Rogie Vachon. You saw him earlier. I won't show that one off. We got a Bobby Hull right there. TTM'd him a couple times over the years, but biggest one was I sent that one and the set cards. I think I may have already told this story when I was showing off the set cards there, but mailed those and an 8x10 photo off, and I said, hey, the cards are for my collection. The 8x10 here is going to be for my dad. Huge fan of yours. It's his, I think it was, yeah, I sent it for his 60th birthday. Said, hey, his 60th birthday's coming up. His name's Hal. Would you mind signing, personalizing it? And about 2 weeks before my dad's birthday, I got the cards and the photo all back signed. And on that it said, to Hal, happy 60th, Bobby Hull, number 9, Hall of Fame year, all that kind of stuff on there. So great stuff from him. I had tried mailing Hull back around 2007 or so through the Blackhawks, but at that time he apparently had some real issues with Bill Wirtz and the way that the Blackhawks were being run and doing stuff with their alumni, and wanted absolutely nothing to do with them. And then after Wirtz died, suddenly he was signing free for the fans again. So lends credence to that at least. Got this Cam Neely signed at the 2018 draft as well. Johnny Busick right there, another TTM success from him. I mentioned Harry Sinden earlier. He didn't send back my 91 black and white set, but he did at least sign this one with the Canada versus the Soviets set there. Right there. Let's see, we got a Red Kelly right there. I love those Champs cards. Those ones always look cool. Picked those on my trade of, say, Gilbert Perrault. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm usually pretty good with the French pronunciations. That one still throws me off, though. This is a Chris Pronger IP SIG right there. A little significantly messier than his TTM ones, but hey, I saw it signed right in front of me. I'll take it. And, I mentioned Bobby Hull. There's a couple of other more modern cards signed by him from some of those Panini sets. So, there you go. There's the Hockey Hall of Famers and deceased players. We're out of space in this box. All right, we'll have to turn these ones here. There we go. That should work. So, once again, thanks for tuning in here on this Show Off Sunday, 2 weeks in a row, showing off some of the big names there from the various stuff items that I've gotten signed over the years. I'm running out of words at this point. I mean, I've been talking for about an hour and a half at this point now, because last week's, this week's both filmed back-to-back. My throat's sore. A little better there. Love that stuff. Give them a plug, because Rambler, they're awesome. So, there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe button somewhere down in this area. Go ahead and hit it. Get updated anytime I've got a video posted. Hopefully I'll have a bunch more. Hopefully I'll have a full mailbox this week, and hopefully you will too. So, thanks again for tuning in.